Hey, good morning, Roman. Good morning,
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. But I
Well,
know
I know
somebody,
somebody who's not so great.
I was about to say that.
Okay.
So, our dear friend, our very, very dear friend, Ketty, has been hospitalized, as you might know, last week. And she has been in the hospital like 4 days, 5 days. And the consequences financially are devastating. Even if she's insured and written this, just the co-payment is thousands and thousands of dollars. And she has a condition which is called a COPD, congestion of the lung function, congestion of the lung function, and she need to make some adaptation or some adjustment or renovation to her living space. And among other things, she will need oxygen. She will need HEPA filter and air purifier in her environment. And right now, she's having oxygen. She has medication, and she will need support from all of us to help her overcome that momentarily difficulty. She's in good spirit because she's Katy, and Katy is a tough cookie, and she is fighting back and adjusting and correcting. So I did put in the comments for the public the link to GoFundMe. It will be there for the entire show. At the end of the show, we'll just make a refresher, and we'll talk about Kathy's need at the end of the show. Meanwhile, Roman is with us, and last week we have a very interesting conversation. It was, by the way, very well received by the audience, and we want to make the bridge between our last week topic and next week topic. The next week topic will be about training, but this week topic is mostly about how to get acquainted with our dog. And I think Roman is almost freezing. It's frozen. Are you with us, Roman? Uh-oh. I will have a solo show today. Roman? I think we have a frozen picture of Roman. I cannot hear you. Maybe. Are you coming back to us? Did you pay your internet bill?
How about I better do?
Here he's back. Okay. Let's get acquainted with a dog. Ah, you're a very generous person. I'm talking to the audience. And by the generosity of your heart, you decide to go the shelter and adopt a dog. First moment of knowing each other. Who is my dog? How can you find out or understand the nature, the persona, the psychology of your dog when you see 20 dogs in the shelter and you try to figure out who's the best dog for us, for me, for your family, for your environment? And Roman, do you have any clue at what to look and who is my dog?
Well, here are the facts. It's
Mm-hmm.
impossible to tell by a look what the breed traits are, what the dog's personality traits are, what the dog's trauma is in a shelter environment. It's kind of like meeting your future partner in a disco, you know, disco.
Okay, yeah, I remembered. I was alive in the
Right.
80s.
Yeah, right. And it's impossible for you to recognize if the partner for life is the one who sits next to you in a
Mm-hmm.
football game or
Okay,
in a shop.
okay, you just said something. You cannot. determine the the nature or the person of your dog based on the breed. There's a lot of
Or on
people
the
saying,
look.
"Oh, you," or on the look. You say, "Oh, you're allowed, take a Doberman." And it's a good deal. They are good for children. They are easy to train. Go for a Doberman. And somebody will say, so this is like all
No,
superficial
right.
assessment.
It's just an idea. So
Yeah,
we know from science, and I always refer to science to confirm things, not to kind of
please,
lead us. So
please
the
do so.
science says that 42% are genetic factors that make the dog have a certain characteristics or character, and
Hmm.
the rest are environmental factors. So where is my dog coming from who ends up in the shelter? What's his past? What's his education level? What is his experience? What are his troubleshooting skills? What is his social understanding? And
Hmm.
usually, when dogs end up in a shelter, there is a reason for that. Something went wrong. Something in his family went wrong. Something with the dog went wrong. Something at the vet's office went wrong. Something with his food went wrong. Something with his separation anxiety went wrong. We don't know until we
Hmm.
physically get the dog out of the shelter and start observing a short period of time.
Yeah.
So I suggest when people go to the shelter, first thing is going to do, ask people from the shelter to take the dog out from the shelter environment, bring him into a calm room where the dog feels comfortable. And the next question would be, is the dog educated to meet people in a calm room? Because I know many
Hmm.
rescues and many shelters who don't have that feature available. They don't educate their dogs how to succeed in a meeting. So for that, I would definitely reach out to a behaviorist, not a dog trainer, behaviorist who is force free and will be able to run some tests, personality
Hmm.
tests, and get a little bit more information and see if that dog that you like is actually fit for your family. Because the dog may be perfect to be adopted, but not with your life expectation skills. Like, oh, I want to go vacation every weekend. I want to live in an RV all my life. I want to run up the mountains, down the mountains all day long. I want to have a baby next year. So these
Hmm.
are ideas that a good behaviorist will deal with the dog, knowing the breed traits, and then do some assessment at spot. Will the dog show if he's resource guarding at the shelter? Likely he will fail.
Hmm.
So those kind of behaviors we don't assess in a shelter. It's too stressful environment, and stress can cause the dog to show reactivity and survival responses that we can call aggression. And I would definitely not adopt a dog who is aggressive. But if I
Hmm.
put the dog into that test in that stress environment, he will fail. So I will have a false information. So my suggestion is for shelters and rescues to create kind of like um, a weekend date, a weekend kind of get to know each other, where the dog comes to the house, settles in, we have a better picture, we feel comfortable about the dog,
Hmm.
and under supervision of a professional. Okay?
So yeah, so you're suggesting to borrow the dog for a weekend, three,
Right.
2, 3 days, Friday to Monday, something like that.
Mhm.
And are you suggesting also to have a behaviorist with you during that weekend or part of the
I would
weekend?
say it's a good it's a good matchmaking having a behaviorist on your
Hmm.
side and who will be able to do evaluate your family
Yep.
and evaluate your dog at the same time. It's kind
Hmm.
of like if you're going to a dating website, you have all these questions coming in. You have to answer all these questions and they match you together based on the other questions and answers are being set in. Not
Never
you,
been
not
there.
me.
I have
But
no idea.
if you don't ask yourself about what you're gonna do the next 5 years,
Yeah.
what is your life, look like from a social understanding, a behaviorist
Hmm.
can tell you, hey, I wouldn't go to that breed because this is a guardian breed, and you want to have barbecue parties all day long, and he's not a young dog, so he has some life experiences and he's eventually being a little bit reactive. And it's not a breed you should have as a first time owner. A behaviorist cannot navigate around you. And even if you are so persistent, no, I want
Hmm.
that dog because my gut's feeling tells me I love that dog. I want him in my house.
Hmm.
Then the behaviors will be able to walk you through the process to address behavior issues. because
Okay.
it's not about obedience. It's about having morals and ethics in place, dealing with trauma, dealing with behavior issues that a trainer is not equipped to do. Okay,
Okay.
so that's one part. The other part is, does the rescue actually support you to take the dog in the house? I recommend people should take the dog for a foster with
Okay.
option to adopt option, which
Okay.
the dog stays for longer time there. You don't have any more responsibilities. You're not paying the vet bills. You don't have any additional cost for that. The dog is out of a shelter, out of a kennel, opens the room for another dog to come in while you're making your final decision. I love that dog. I'm going to keep that dog. I feel safe about that dog.
Okay. So you can have a foster. You can foster a dog for months or weeks or months.
Well, it depends on how the foster works. Usually,
Right.
if I have a foster to adopt, 1 month is more than enough. But again,
Okay.
I need supervision because people can ruin a dog in a month that was totally
Hmm.
fine and
Yeah.
then not being fine by the end of the month.
Okay.
And so either the rescue or the foster has a foster adoption coordinator who actually monitors and regulates and checks in on the people and supports them
Hmm.
if they have any questions, who is usually educated to the level
Yeah.
of, in case she needs help, she can call in support, technical support. I work with a lot of rescues in that manner. They just call me in for behavior issues when
Okay.
they show up in foster care. But I would not just adopt a dog and leave out of a
Mm.
shelter without having an evaluation done first.
Okay. That's very good advice. It's a very wise wisdom is kicking in, which is required. And the other part, let's say you go through the process and you have an agreement with the shelter, and you can foster the dog for about a month based on
Mhm.
a agreement. You never own a dog. You never have a dog in your house. Then how do you read what the dog tried to express to you? We
Well, a good
have,
question. What's the
yeah,
dog trying to tell me here?
yeah,
Well, we need to understand the dog's needs. Okay. And we talked up in the last session, if you guys recall. Let me share the link with you so we can kind of like quickly pop it up. Um, when we talk about the dog's hierarchy of needs, then we have the biological needs, we have emotional needs, we have social needs, force-free training needs, right? And
hmm,
cognitive needs. In that month, we have to go through these layers of hierarchy needs to fulfill them. For
hmm,
example, biological needs, which includes proper nutrition, sufficient exercises, proper sleep, having a safe shelter, um,
yeah,
and understanding going to the have vet care addressed. And then the
hmm,
dog has emotional needs. He wants to feel secure, loved,
yeah,
trusted. It has to be consistency. Then we have social needs, meaning is he has to have bonding, secure
yeah,
attachment relationship. He should have
hmm,
playtime, and all those needs, including training, of course, because in that month you just don't let the dog do his own thing. He needs to
yeah,
learn how to live in your family. So we want to set up,
hmm,
this family code of conduct and train him to understand these things, and
yeah,
then he should have choices. I know people
yeah,
who don't give dogs choices, and so in that month of adoption, you're not doing the dog a good thing to help
yeah,
him educated. But
hmm,
if the dog is really not a good fit, at least he has educated enough to fit a next home,
right.
right?
I post the link from last week, which was the dog's need,
Mm-hmm.
and I invite people to click on that link and review what was said last week about the dog need.
Perfect. Yep.
Now we're in a position of having that thing, four legs, a tail, a head, and that's moving and that's making noise.
You mean this guy?
Yeah, this guy.
No, okay, that's I love this guy. His name is what name do you think it is? His name is Husk of
Ask,
Husky, right? Husky.
asking.
Hi. So the
Hi,
reason why
asking.
I work a lot with kids when I work with people in their homes or online. So we want to gonna go a little bit through the body posture. So the dog has a head, has a back, has a tail, and has
Yeah.
legs, and he
Mm-hmm.
has a front, he has an nose, he has ears, he has a mouth, he has a tongue, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so all this body is available for information. So we have to recognize the dog has two intentions with his body language. The first one is to inform whoever is in front of him and then whoever is behind him. The one who's next to him on the other side is also information. So the dog with his three-dimensional body language can share information with his entire environment. Plus, the dog can verbalize his emotions, and the dog can also share his emotions telepathically.
Okay.
So a dog
Wait,
knows.
wait. Step back a little bit. Come back to this planet. Now, let's go on a practical matter like body language before we get into the telepathy. If you don't mind, let's take our audience on that journey. I think we have. I don't think. I know we have a screen we can share with you, and that can give us a number of illustration of body language.
Perfect. So, alert.
Yes.
Alert is a state of interest to engage or not to engage. It's kind of like a green, or let's get a gray zone. Okay. Then we have a threshold where the dog already gets involved with it, which already the dog gets suspicious. So the dog being alert is nothing wrong with it. It's just informed that you are on my radar and now I want to better understand what you're doing. Questions. Is your behavior something that triggers me to be suspicious? Is your behavior recognizing that you making me feel anxious? Is your behavior treating me like I feel threatened? So we need to understand the dog is not telling you what to do. The dog is telling you how he feels.
Okay.
And then he expects you, as the other party receiving that information, to adjust accordingly to how your dog feels. So if your dog feels a certain way, we need to hold space for that dog, because all he does is share how he feels. Why he feels, that's another story. But if your dog feels suspicious that you are up to something, or you make the dog feel threatened, it's not the dog's fault for feeling that way. It's you making the dog feel that way. Why?
Okay.
That's another story. So we need to give proper feedback, and then the dog will give you another feedback. So it's because sharing feedbacks of how each other feels about the situation we're into.
Okay. You said suspicious. There's cause to suspicion.
Right.
Can you give us an example?
Let's say a breed trait, which is a border collie.
Yeah.
Everything that moves is suspicious.
I see.
Okay. Everything that doesn't look that I know about is suspicious. Let's go in a guardian breed, because they're herding breeds, they're guardian breeds, they're hunting breeds, right? So the guardian breed, you're anyway suspicious as soon as you're not family and as soon as you're not there before. So these dogs are very aware of their environment. So if you show up and you weren't there before, you're already suspicious to start with. Now you have to prove that you're not a threat. Okay. Now,
How you do that?
dogs, well, for example, I stop moving. I'll give the dog time and tell him, hey, I respect your worries. I know I'm suspicious. I'm just waiting here to give me a green light to move on.
Okay.
So I have to be honest about my intentions in response to a dog who tells me I'm suspicious.
Okay. So
the
a
feedback
dog
is more important than the dog.
Okay. So a dog suspicious in one circumstance, not moving, for instance, will be a helping factor in the communication. So if the dog is suspicious, but because you're moving too fast, too close to him,
too fast towards into his territory,
okay,
I would
then
definitely
you stop.
stop.
Okay.
I stop. And usually what I do is I put my hands together and stop like this.
Okay.
Right. I'm not having my limbs there. I'm not having my hands. Oh, stay there. Don't do things. I'm not moving my hands. I'm just putting my hands together close.
It's menacing. If I extend my arm, like, they can be interpreted as a sign of aggression by the dog.
And freezing is a very important feedback. Freezing means I feel worried right now the way you feel about me. That doesn't make me a predator. That doesn't make me a prey. That makes me worried.
Okay.
So freezing is a good state. So you'll see also dogs, when other dogs approach, you will see the dog freezes
Yeah.
and let the other dog inspect,
Mm-hmm.
recognize, oh, you're not meaning a threat, oh, you're a human. Oh, okay, no big deal. I want you to leave, growl. Okay, then I move away from your area. If you tell me
Mm-hmm.
that you don't want me here, even if I feel threatened by you, I'm going to move away from your territory. So I'm not invading your space. I show
Okay.
respect. That gesture, that feedback tells the dog a lot about who you are. A,
Mm-hmm.
you're not a predator, so therefore he doesn't have to kill you. B, you're respecting his space, therefore you're trustworthy. So in your
Okay.
next attempt to come closer, his reactor will not be so bad as he was before. So you're gonna reduce the stressor between you and your dog.
Then there's a phase or a different expression called anxious. So we see
Well,
the dog
anxious
like
Anxious is,
kind of
imagine you're compressing a spring. Okay,
mm-hmm.
that's anxious. You compress it, ready to do what? Fight or
bounce back.
flight.
Yeah.
Either attack you or run away from you. So that anxious is again a gray zone. We don't know exactly how it will end.
Mm-hmm.
So in that survival response, the dog has two options: to engage with the situation or disengage with the situation, or remain stuck. Okay. Now the dog
Mm-hmm.
will basically feel threatened, and so he expresses his expression of threat. Bark, 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 stay away from me, or bark, 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 I'm going to kill you if you move any further.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are different types of barks, many different types of barks. And
Yeah.
if you don't know the dog's barking because you just met the dog, usually a consistent barking and towards the person is,
Bark,
I'm
bark, bark, bark.
challenging you to walk away from my territory. I'm going up to the borderline of my territory. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going forward and I'm going back again. If a dog barks high pitch and walks away from you, meaning is, I'm afraid of your presence, leave me alone. The only way I have to go back to my safe place, and I don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
So the
So an
dog didn't
example.
attack to you not because he's angry, also it's because he doesn't have other options left. He would like to leave, but he can't because he's attached to the leash. So therefore, he
Okay.
has to attack you instead.
Because basically the dog is corner.
Yeah, and you
He's,
need to
yes.
understand that aggression in any type we see it is not the way we think it is. Okay, let's do a myth buster here. Aggression is not how much the dog wants to kill you. Aggression is a tool to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Aggression, part of aggression is the puppy is reaching to his mother to find milk. It
Mm-hmm.
belongs to the sense of aggression. Me trying to find a parking lot and then be faster than anybody else is already part of aggression. Now,
Yeah.
our social regulations, morals, and ethics prevent aggression to escalate and become a murdering tool.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
aggression is a survival tool. Aggression
Yeah.
is me going to the store and buy extra toilet paper rolls. And if I escalate it, I'm going to fight about the last one. So I get it and not the other person. So we need to
Okay.
see that. We need to understand that aggression is only not only a bad thing, it's a necessary thing for a dog to survive and for people to survive.
So a dog barking. Recently, I have a guest, and she brought her dog,
Mhm.
and about 50 feet away on the sidewalk, we were on the patio. So 50 feet away on a sidewalk was a gentleman with his dog, and just on sight, just seeing the dog from 50 feet away, the dog immediately stand up and start.
Well, there are many reasons for that. The main reason is I feel threatened. I'm in a new space. I've never been in your house before. And suddenly this dog shows up. And you know what dogs do? They attack dogs. But that's
Mhm.
the dog's mindset. Doesn't mean that's reality. So if a dog had a bad experience about another dog, so he
Mhm.
sees a dog, he's get triggered. It's kind of like seeing a person with a hoodie walking around your car. What is your first thought?
Well, if you do three turn around the car, I'll be concerned.
Exactly. Theoretically, you would be growling internally, but you can also growl out of the window. Hey, what's
Mhm.
up?
Yeah.
Right? So,
Hmm.
growling, because dogs don't have words, they express their concerns by
Right.
body language or verbalization,
Hmm. Yeah.
or especially with voice.
Yeah. In the example I provide, we were outside. We were on the patio outside the house, and that was an open space between us and the other dog with the other
Well, the
dog owner.
threshold, there are different threshold areas. There's under threshold, over threshold, and under threshold or at threshold. Sorry, under threshold, at threshold, and over threshold. If a dog feels threatened on the side of a dog,
Hmm.
that's the dog's problem. So that's something to be addressed. Now, for you
Hmm.
guys who are watching us because we are halfway in, let's remind people our reason why we want to support Kathy, our co-host.
Yes. Kathy, let's go back to this. Okay, sorry. Kathy, as you know, I mentioned that before. She suffered from COPD, and she has an episode last week where she need to be hospitalized. She was there for 5 days, to my recollection. Maybe yeah, I think it's 5 days accurate. She was in very very severe condition, and
Yes, she almost died.
okay, yes, she almost that's
Yes.
correct. She
Okay.
almost passed
We brought
away.
her
She
back. Not
almost
we, the doctors did.
yeah, brought her back, and she's back with us. She has a heart failure and COPD at the same time. Boom. Uh, she sent a photo. I will not share the photo with you, but on one of the pictures she sent was a bracelet said DNR.
Do
Do
not
not
talk to her.
resuscitate. Do not resuscitate. So that's was really really serious. She's back home. She's really need to adjust or make adjustment to her home. She need permanent oxygen. She need a walker. She need air purifier, and she has a several $1,000 of bill.
Well, she
I
has also
did
many dogs, and she's not the person who's going to give up her dogs. So, in order to survive with her dogs in her own home, because she can
yeah,
die because of of the tender, the dog, and the
mhm,
dust,
right,
she needs to have air purifier in the house, and she
yeah,
need to create a room where she can recover.
right. She has one dog today, and it's Charlie, and she need all of what we described. I put on the comment that you the audience can go on the comment, and you will see the GoFundMe link
Hmm.
like this,
Right?
and you can click on the link and you can help Kathy in her situation. And
You can
she
use also the other link too. This one is um from your YouTube channel, and the other one is from a Facebook channel,
right,
the one below.
uh, okay,
So
let's
either way,
see,
YouTube or Facebook, you can click on the
yeah,
link.
right,
Okay.
okay, yes. Thank you for the clarification. If you're watching YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, either way, you will see in the comment, you can click on GoFundMe, and that will take you to the site. And there's a video there in more detail about the situation with Kathy.
And and believe me, I've been in the hospital. I almost lost my hand because of a dog scratch. A little dog scratch made my hand blow up.
Hmm.
And the doctor says, if we cannot save your hand, we're gonna have to put you down too. And he was not kidding. Okay. And I had people just like you helping me get pay these vet bills. I was staying in the hospital for, I think I got a $35,000 bill, and I was not insured. Okay. And I got out of there, and I have people support because I couldn't work, and I had
Hmm.
dogs in my house. I had to hire a trainer to help me with my dogs in the house. And so
Right.
every penny worth it. So if you have $5, $10, $15, okay, and
A
I have
dollar. A
one
dollar will
dollar.
help.
Come on, $1. Give me a break. A coffee costs like how many dollars?
Four.
You right? Okay. Don't drink a coffee. It's not healthy anyway. Drink a coffee. And yeah, we can help Kathy because Kathy also does things at no cost for us. So if you love the show, if you like to join us, help is needed right now, and the only
Right.
way to help right now is to push that link and follow through with it. Okay, and I can assure you, whoever, and Kathy will give me those informations, whoever donates more than $100 get automatically a session with me online. Okay, and
Thank
if
you
you
for
donate
that.
that session because you don't have a dog, you're welcome to donate the session. Make two
Right.
goods: one donate to Kathy, and one donate another session to somebody else who needs a session. And so you have two good things on your chart. Are you going to heaven with that? I don't know. But it's a good thing to start.
It's a very, very good thing to start talking about Kathy and generosity. She did her picture, the Dog TV connection, the Dog Connection TV for 12 years, 13 years, maybe at least 12 years, maybe 13 years now. At some point, she was reaching millions, not hundreds, or not thousands, millions of people. And she was doing that out of the generosity of her heart. She never make a penny out of the process for 12 years. She never ever make a single penny with this, and she's very generous of her person, and she would like to say two words like that. That's from Katie. She's listening to the show live, and she thanking the audience, everybody there. So think about it. Get to the link and a little push for Katie. That will be very, very useful for her. Yes, here she is. That's from
So,
Katie. Like, we love you, Katie.
right? So,
Keep up the
and you
good
know what?
work.
If you watch all the shows together and you haven't learned anything, you know how much money you save right there, right? So, okay, back to our doctrining stuff. Um, yeah, and of course you can share it. Don't be resource guarding of those kind of important things. You're welcome to share
Hmm.
it.
Yeah,
So back to our um,
Pana,
body
like
language
this.
stuff.
Yes, body
Exactly.
language, peace,
So
stress,
the first
stress.
thing you're going to look for when you deal with a dog is try to see if a dog tries to establish communication or he tries to avoid communication. So the first thing is going to do, let me get a little bit of my husk here. Hi, husk. So the dog looks away from you, meaning is he doesn't want interaction with you for two reasons. Not because you are a different color, right? Dog don't care about that. Or you're from different country, dog doesn't care about that either. Or you have different political views, dog doesn't care either. He just doesn't like to interact with you because he doesn't feel safe for different reasons.
Hmm.
So the first thing you do is you stop and wait. Let the dog look back at you. You may want even to turn away from him as well. Says, I don't mind my your business anyway. I'm just wondering do my own business. I'm just minding my business. Look, I'm just looking around you on the floor, see if there's anything for me here. Otherwise, I have no mind of yours.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, if your dog is stressed, there are different reasons of being stressed. It could be pain, it could be emotional, could be he's hungry, he's worried. So stress, as you see, yawning could be a general message. "Ah, I have no worries other than mine right now. So chill out. Now, a stressed dog, so yawning is not only stress, yawning also sends you a message
He's
that
tired.
you're coming in too much for me.
Okay.
Okay? And it's not I'm sleepy.
Oh.
Now, stressed nose licking, it's a very important information because it only means towards the forward one who can see my face. It's not for the guys next to you, not for the guys behind the dog, it's for the front.
Hmm.
Now, lip licking or nose licking is basically like a Morse signal. Okay? Watch this. Nose here, right? And I lick my nose. You're going to create a Morse signal on, off, on, off. The faster this on, off happens, the more intense you're coming in. So it's kind of like I'm cleaning my probe to perceive more information, I'm not cleaning enough my probe, too much information coming in, slow the bark down.
Okay.
And so you
I,
slow down with it.
okay. When we look at the illustration of stress and yawn, I notice the ear are pointy, are like bring together, and in this,
They can be also back. We need to
they can,
understand the limitation of a
yeah,
caricature. Each dog, if a dog doesn't have any ears, what will the ears will put forth? You don't see that.
no,
Okay.
okay,
Dogs who have very floppy ears, they can go back and forth. They don't
hmm,
go up.
right,
Okay. So, but
okay,
very well observed. Now, sniffing on the ground is a very clear signals. I mind my business. That will be your answer to the dog who is stressed. So, peace, I'm sniffing on the floor, minding my business, don't worry about it, can also happen if you're taking a dog for a walk. He's
hmm,
sniffing. And then you get upset and you start yanking your dog for it because he's not moving on. And the more you yank on it, the more your dog will sniff on the floor. It's not because he wants to smell things, it's because he wants you to chill out. Okay? Now,
hmm.
now if your dog turns his head away and lifts his paw, respect, it's kind of a strange word. I would say I like to disappear from here, from the situations, but I cannot go anywhere. That's why I lift my leg and want to make myself invisible.
Hmm.
And you can see, I don't feel good about this. I cannot do anything about it. Can you make it go away? Good. And then we have the stalking. Now, stalking is a behavior that can be a breed trait, like a border collie, okay, or for example, a hunting dog.
Hmm.
We know these hunting dogs who are pointers, right? Exactly,
Yep.
is stalking.
They go like this.
And also, it can also be a regular behavior that says,
Yeah.
I watch you exactly what you're going to do, so I'm alert of what's going to happen next, and I'm already
Right.
tense.
Hmm.
Scratching, for example, can be I have fleas, I have a yeast infection, I don't feel good in my belly, or I'm actually stressed, and I'm kind of like, don't come near me.
Hmm.
Shaking it off definitely is a stress release. I would call it a trauma release, meaning is whatever happened before that made me so stressed that I had to shake it off, which is a calming signal. What you did to me right before that behavior, meaning is you weren't too hard on me. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get traumatized. That
I see. I saw an example of that. A guy was playing with his dog, and he retrieved um, a ball, I believe, if I recall, and brought back the ball. And as soon as he dropped the ball, he went on around the guy and shake off like this.
oh yeah, this is a good observation. Here's what's happening. Usually the dog that behaves that way, after you tell him what to do, he shakes it off. These dogs are usually trained with harsh methods, prong collars, shock collars, choke collars.
Uh,
And so what they do is they're conditioned that every time the person says a command, the dog shakes it off to release the stress that causes that command. So
hmm.
it's a poison slash punishing command.
I see.
Okay.
And too many time, people that use aggressive technique
Yeah,
for
we're
training
not
dog.
supporting that because we don't need it. There's scientifically evidence that using no harsh methods and no punishing methods, force-free methods to educate your dog is 25% more efficient long term than using aversive methods. It's not my invention, okay?
Hmm.
But we know that. So, what else do we have? We
Well,
have
we have
friendly,
this stuff.
polite licking. I would say friendly and polite licking is a slippery slope. Licking can be controlling, disorganized, care controlling behavior, meaning is the dog is not comfortable with your behavior. And so what the dog does basically is lick you to calm down. I care for you because you feel so stressed about me right now. And if a dog licks the baby, doesn't mean the dog loves the baby always. It can also mean
Hmm.
baby is stressed, makes me feel stressed, me calming down baby so I can calm down. Or I can bite the baby. I've seen many
Hmm.
times that people tell me, oh, my dog always licks my baby, and then one day he beats it.
Yeah, there
It,
was no
it was
result.
it was a warning sign. Hey, dude, chill out, chill out. You're stressing me out. I'm licking you to control you, and then you know what? You're pissing me off. I'm gonna snap at you. So that link that we say here, the
Yeah,
next one that says friendly, I don't see friendly here. Ears down. I see kind of like I'm not sure about this.
yeah.
Um,
What's up?
and it's a smiley face. That's
Hmm.
definitely not friendly. It's worried. So smile is a stress response. Ears down is a stress response. And
Hmm.
I see two different eyes. Okay. But and kind of the eyes a little bit twitching. I would say it's not friendly. What it can say to you is be friendly, but
Yep.
that's not really clear information here.
Hmm.
Be friendly. So
Oops.
then the other one, which is pretty please, round puppy face.
Hmm.
Um, I don't see those words really to be accurate because what the dog says right now, I feel guilty. That
Hmm.
is a guilty look, and dogs do feel guilt. Okay. Now, I'm your love bug. We're missing an important detail here is the tail. So if a dog is
Yeah.
belly up, okay, and his tail is on flat, that's fine. The dog is just, do some belly rubs. I love it. Yo, yeah, I'm all yours. But if the tail is inwards, do not approach the dog
Hmm.
because that dog tells you, I'm in fear of my life. I'm surrendering my life to you. Is
Hmm.
that the message you want to give a dog feedback? Feeling like he's going to give your life to you? No, stay away from it. Don't encourage it. Back away from it so the dog can go up to you and says, thank you for releasing me from that fear of my life. And so the reason why we choose that is not to blame the one who's designed it because that's his own perception. But what I
Hmm.
see here as behaviors is that I'm your love bug is inaccurate. I want belly rubs is inaccurate. But many dogs who are like this and the tail is in actually will urinate out of fear. And we encourage it. We don't want to encourage that. So the other thing that we see down, if you look down, if you scroll a little bit more,
Yes.
here you
Just.
go. I love you. Maybe we're going to go in the other direction. I think there are more information. So, hello, I love you. No, it's a slippery slope. There are three ways for the dog to show um, an arch. It's not an invitation to play. People call it a play ball. No,
Hmm.
it's not a play ball. Is I stretch myself, A, to invite you to a play, to invite you to change your play, and to invite you to change your mind about the play. So, a dog who feels threatened and feels confident about how the play will end, and
Hmm.
the play can be also part of aggression, play, stress, reactivity, aggression. So the dog will tell you, dog, don't escalate your play because I intend to stay on that space and not
Hmm.
escalate to a dispute. Now, if
Yep.
a dog jumps on you, can have multiple reasons. The one he jumps on you is because it's disorganized controlling behavior. I jump on you before you jump on me. I jump on you to tell you don't go any further. The other version is I jump on you because I want your attention. It comes again insecure.
Hmm.
Okay? Or I jump on you because I appreciate you and I want you to share your food. So jumping is actually a behavior that usually fades out over the experience living with the parents. So those dogs who overly jump usually don't have this proper puppy parenting education or they are insecure down the road.
Hmm. Yes.
So
Roman,
now the
this
other
is
playbook,
abs-
yes.
yeah, this is absolutely fascinating. That's the least I can say. I think we are kind of running out of time. Um, we can go on for hours and hours on that. Uh,
Oh yeah,
if I
I have classes for
summarize,
that, so you guys don't worry about it, just in
yeah,
case you miss something.
yes. So what I was about to say is you need to learn this language and have interaction and look for sign from the dog and try to understand as you go and realize what exactly is happening in the mind of the dog. So
Unfortunately, we know more about the moon than we know about the dogs. Literally.
yes, right. And so there's 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 a lot we can talk. We have a lot of ground to cover. We did cover a lot of topic this morning. It's just the tip of the iceberg, if I use the expression. And at least be aware of different expression, body language. That's the message today. Because next week we want to approach the topic of training. And I think before you enter in a training phase, you need to get a sense of what is the communication between you and the dog. Am I on the right track there? Am I going to in the right direction with that?
You're doing right.
So, Kathy has a great need, and Kathy has a great soul. She is a generous person. We give, and give without asking any reward. She did that for 12 years and more. And she has a health episode, and she needs your support, the support of everybody. The link is on the comment with the show, and I will post it again. Let's me where I put it. This one here. Let's. Oops. Okay. Let me grab this. Okay, that's not what I want. I'm trying to copy it and post it. Let's me. Okay, it's there. Let's me post it again on the site. I'm looking for this.
I help you remember, if you donate
Yes.
over $100, you automatically get a training session for you
Mhm.
or somebody else you want to donate for.
Yeah.
So you're gonna win twice,
A double whammy, a
right?
double victory.
Yeah, because some people says, you know what, what's in for me? Now you don't have an excuse. Now it's two things for you.
Yeah.
A, you paid forward, and B, you feel good about it.
Yep.
And it's easy to feel good, right? Make other people feel, you know, I mean, I feel so appreciative, Kathy, what she does.
Hmm.
And I think everybody who ever watched the show knows exactly that she's not the person who says me, 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 me. I'm
Never.
so bad at
Never.
it, right? Um, and what we need to look for is we want to support the rescue. Guess what Kathy does?
Hmm.
She makes it possible for you to support the rescue. The show is here to support those people who are in rescue, educate people who adopted dogs,
Hmm.
educating people who want to serve. So the rest, those dogs don't go back to the rescue. So the Good
Or
Dog Show is nothing else
yeah.
to teach you be good dog.
Yeah.
There are many shows there. There are fear porns. People love to share them. Millions of views watching fear porn, and that is love porn. Sorry, say that it's a dog love porn. You feel good by the end of that show. At the end of the story, you have answers they always wanted to hear. And I know many people are smarter watching those shows and can tell to this neighbor, "Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I learned today. That." And the neighbor is like, "Oh my God, I had no clue about it." Yeah, because I watched the show.
That's why we do the show, and that's why I got Kathy contacted me like 6 or 7 years ago. She asked me if I'm interested to get involved with the Dog Connection TV, and I was like, and one day she sent me a short video, and she remembered she remembered that, and I look at the video she produced, and I say, oh, I got it.
And you know what
Let's
happened? How many
let's take
times?
the yeah, let's take the example of Doug to show human how we can care for human, and this is how I got involved there. So
And how many times
Kathy,
it happened that Sorry, I have
Go
a bit
ahead.
of a delay.
No, go ahead.
I'm listening.
You're listening. So this time, Kathy need the help of everybody. Share this video with your friend. Share the link with your friend. And she's really an exceptional person, and we count on her. We really need to have her. She just said, "I remember when she sent me the video." Because after she sent me the video, it was like a no looking back. I'm involved for like 2 years now, 5, 6 seasons. Anyway, Kathy need you. It's time for you to show your appreciation to Kathy and let her know that you're there for her, and she's there for you. Be there for her. On this word of wisdom, any last word, Roman, to you for you?
Yeah. So I
That's
feel
a Dougie expression.
right, right. Um, I have to share how um, unfortunate Kathy was, and you guys were. I had no clue, but I checked in. You guys had millions of followers on Facebook, and then
Yeah,
Facebook shut your guys' page off, like out of
yeah.
nowhere, no excuse, just shut it
No
off.
explanation.
No explanation, no coming back from that. And so many people who benefit from it just lost contact.
Hmm.
Okay, and I
Yeah.
think you guys went with a lawyer too, and the lawyer says, sorry, we screwed up. Sorry, no, we didn't screw up. We just deleted it. So it's not our problem anymore. So we need to support Kathy right now because she does support us all time.
Hmm. All the time without asking anything in return. That's a sign of
Okay.
a great human being. On these words, here's from Kathy, the last word. We love you, Kathy. Be well. We look forward to have you on the show soon, very soon. Take care of yourself. Okay, we'll
Get
close.
healthy.
Yes. Bye bye. Bye to the audience. Share the video with your friend. Thank you so much.